Kunal that. He joins in the studio. Kunal, hi, good morning. Does it seem like looking at the GIFT Nifty this morning, there could be some pullback?
There should be a good rebound for the markets, and we were anticipating this yesterday, that the indicators were deeply oversold. Mentioned this, at the fag end, that we are looking at a point where for 7 consecutive days the index has closed negative. The RSI has tapped back into a deep oversold territory on the shorter-term time frame charts. But more importantly, I think what we've seen is that from the March lows, when we were almost at those 22,000 odd levels, from the point of those major support levels, if we draw a simple rising trend line, we've managed to retest this major trend line 4th time in the past 4-5 months of this market rally. So that also was a very strong support level for the index. So I think this is one of the major reasons why we were expecting a bounce. And hopefully, I think once we come back about that 24,300 levels, then we may probably expect the index to sort of open the resistances on the upside, and we may be looking at higher levels. But the first hurdle which the markets have to cross is the 24,300 level.
Okay. Sectors, therefore, Kunal, that you should bet on, rising tide?
So yeah, we were looking at those stronger sectors. For example, Bank Nifty had been doing reasonably well, the PSU banking stocks and the select private sector banking names. Yesterday, for example, Kotak Bank did pretty well for itself. And then you had the odd sectors like defense, IT, real estate, etc., which have been playing the supporting factor for the markets overall. The non-FNO sectors, which have been doing very well for themselves. For example, last couple of days, we've seen good momentum. The likes of sugar, you've seen textile. These are the sectors which have looked fairly attractive. So it's difficult to try and give a sense that which are the sectors which would consistently do very well, because we've been into that on and off kind of a play for the markets in terms of stocks as well as sectors. So you'll have to take a broader view over here. But I would sense that banking, real estate to a larger extent, maybe some bit of a bounce which we may expect on the middle counters. That is something which may continue as a trend.
So Kunal, what stock strategy would you have today and what picks would you have?
So I'll go with financial services as one of the key sectors. L&T Finance, a stock which I think yesterday was down some 4.5% after the decent rally day before yesterday for the stock price. That is something which starts to look attractive at the current levels of 315, 316 thereabouts. So L&T Finance is something which I'll suggest as a buy. Targets to be kept at 330, stop loss to be kept at 308. The second stock which I'll suggest as a buy would be Coforge from the mid-cap IT names. The stock is back again towards a breakout of the previous swing high, about 1800 levels. Also very close towards a breakout of the key moving average resistance on the daily charts. So we'd look out for 1870 as a target for Coforge, stop loss at 1783.
Okay, so that's the tilt. Want to quickly try and also zoom in on sectors like defense, Kunal. It's one of those sectors which you are bullish about. Yesterday was a tough day for defense. Does that change today?
So let's hope, because we've been into this state of one day plus and then the other day negative for the markets and for stocks. But I would sense that someone who's looking at betting on the defense names, you can't be looking at this as a 1 day, 2 day trade. You have to look at this as a positional trade, and whether these stocks are have their wherewithal to go in for a breakout as well as a start for decent uptrend. I sense so. I think many of these stocks, for example, HL, which was struggling at the 44,000-45,000 mark just about a month or so back, is now almost at 10% higher levels, 5,000 plus mark, where the stock is comfortably cruising about those zones. Mazagon Dock, a stock which was struggling at 2350, 2400 levels, that stock has risen from those 2350, 2400 to 2600 plus levels, very close towards a breakout of 200 moving average. We've seen good recovery coming across for the likes of BEL, Power Dynamics, etc. So many of these stocks are now slowly and gradually coming back into their own breakout levels. I'm not sure of today, but I think if I have to take a bet for the next, say, 1 week, 1 month, then I think defense could be a good pack to bet on at the current levels.
Okay, on that note, let's take a very quick break. We'll come right back and we'll address all the newsmakers this morning.